This is Eric Mwade. What I wanted to do here is a follow-up on the Mwade's Fast Mountain video, so we can take a look at some live examples at this particular time, even though I can take any time period, any market, anywhere in the world. And this principle of the RSI mountain is very powerful. So why don't we take a look at some of the charts that are doing well, stocks that are doing well in the current market, and so we can just rehash the same theory here. Take a look at this name here. I don't even know what they do, but you'll notice that the breakout took place somewhere there. And remember, what we are talking about is, this is your line here. 69.10 is the level. It's not 70. It's not 70, as most charts will tell you. It is 69.10, and I have videos explaining why it is 69.10. What we're talking about is when a stock first makes a move above this 69.10, especially on a monthly time frame and a weekly time frame. You don't want to sell. You can take profits along the way, but you want to keep on holding until at some point either it breaks down back below 69.10 or there is a trend break as far. And so remember, you want to keep your RSI trading in this what people generally call oversold, even though, to be very honest, it is not oversold. It is just the fact that the stock is very strong and bullish. So as long as it is trading in this zone here above 69.10, this is where I call the fast money area. This is where you're going to be making a lot of money, and the stock is going to be proving to you, as it stays above this level, proving to you that it is very powerful. I also want to point out something very quickly here. Don't forget that there's also another aspect of this. The stock can move slightly, maybe for 1 week, below 69.10, and then immediately recapture it. So once it moves back above 69.10, it's going to confirm that it wants to stay there and wants to continue being strong for you. So remember that. So sometimes, like you can see in this example, the stock finally moved above this 69.10 here, and we can say that was at about, let's even say about 11:50, and it has had small blips along the way, like it did here and here and recently here, but it immediately recaptured this area. This general area is where the stock wants to trade at, because this is a super moving stock, and strong stocks will tend to stay above that 69.10. So now notice, ever since it moved above that level, it's stayed pretty much above that level, moving from what many would have said was oversold, but I call this strong bullish momentum here, from about 11.50, and now was touched as high as 25. Let's go on to the next example. Here's one, another idea. Notice that quickly we jumped above 69.10 there, which was, let's call it about $7, and we moved over time, and you see we recaptured 69.10 here, recaptured it here again, but we moved from about $7 all the way to $40. Let's even say that you owned the stock after this breakout here, the second breakout. The stock would stay above 69.10 between February and May, and would move from $17.50 all the way to $40. So you want to get out when the stock moves or breaks this trend here, right? But the idea here is, don't sell just because a stock is trading in this area. This is where you're going to be making money. Don't get out just because the books tell you that RSI is a measure of how overbought or oversold a stock is. RSI is a measure of sentiment, and if the sentiment is bullish, why would you want to get out of a stock? Let's take a look at another example. It is for Yelp, and we played this one. This was one of our picks. Why? Because I could see that the stock was going to break out here and make a mountain. Very easy. It wasn't easy, but I knew that. I know this. This is my principle, so I know it works. Once it moved above this level was this entry point here. And these are the types of things that we are looking at whenever I recommend stocks. And the stock has stayed pretty much from about $31 and has gone as high as 58, all because we know about the fast mountain. So that was an easy pick for us. Everybody's talking about this name lately, Tesla. Everybody's talking about this name everywhere you go. Why? Take a look at this same principle. Entry point was here. Let's call it about $39 there. And look at this stock. Look at the mountain. This is what I'm talking about. You don't sell the stock here or here or here or here or here or here or here. Or you don't even short the stock. Don't even try it. Or here or here or here. Why? Because of the fast RSI mountain. The principle is solid. Let's take a look at another one. I don't even know what this one does, but I'm going to take a look at it from a monthly chart. Take a look at this one from a monthly chart using my principles that you're going to find on my YouTube channel and on my site. This breakout here is what we are looking for. So that's our entry point. But for the purpose of this video, we are talking about the fast RSI mountain. Stock moved above 69.10 here, which would be at a level somewhere around here, about just under 350, and has stayed above that RSI level. It's a beautiful looking momentum. This is not oversold. This is a sign of sentiment, a sign of how bullish the conviction is. So whenever you see this, know it's a strong stock. Don't try and short such stocks. And you can see stock has moved from about 350 all the way to as high as 11. So you tripled your money there just by understanding a simple principle that I call the RSI's fast mountain. Let's take a look at another name. Now these are the leadership stocks in 2013 August, and you can see the breakout based on my principles was here or here or here. So this one could have been multiple entry points. Now I did not own this one, so let me just put that out there, but the principle is the same. There's so many stocks at the time. You can see it moved above 69.10 here, which was somewhere around 850, and has stayed above this RSI level all this time, and the stock has gone as high as of right now, as high as 20 something. Who knows whether it's going to move higher or not? We'll see. But for now, just understanding that the principle keeps you in a stock would have kept you in the stock until now. There's no reason to sell given this chart. Now if the conditions change and maybe the stock starts tanking, then the RSI is going to move and break this general upside trend line. So you'd be selling at that point or take major profits. Remember, you don't have to sell everything in one large sum. You can always sell your positions in pieces as stock is moving higher for you. Let's take a look at Netflix, and we're going to be concentrating in this area here. Now Netflix was a major mover for us in 2009. We played this perfectly because A, it was one of the first stocks to break out to new highs. Remember, the market made a low here in 09. So this was one of the first major stocks to make a new high, and you always want to own leadership. So when Netflix moved above this level, this was an easy pick for us. And so let's call it $43 entry point, and the stock stayed in this general area here for almost 2 years, or just under 2 years, moving the stock from 43 all the way to as high as $300. Just because you understand the RSI mountain. And doesn't it look like a mountain here? It's a beautiful looking mountain. Look at this. It's a mountain. And the time to get out is when this trend break was broken there. So you'd be out somewhere here or here or here. Needless to say, you'd have tripled your money. So really, you don't care, right? Let's take a look at another name that did well for investors in the 2000s, and it is for Apple. I just want to point out, we played this here at $15. We played this breakout here. Here we re-entered the stock here. This one was a good mover for us. Re-entered it here, played the breakout there, played that breakout there, and I think probably that was our last entry point. But we played this stock very well. Our first entry point was here because it it met our minimum requirements there, and we started going negative on the stock somewhere around here. Lots of videos on YouTube on this one, so you can find those on my channel. But what I want to talk about here is that the biggest move before the 2008 crash came here, when the stock moved from under $20. After this breakout, under $20, it moved above 69.10 here and would go on to trade as high as 190. And all you had to remember is that the stock was defending this area here, which I call RSI Fast Mountain. It had another major move between 2010 and 2012 because the RSI recaptured 69.10 here, which was this breakout which we played because we knew it was moving back above 69.10, and it stayed above that level. Look at this, it stayed perfectly above 69.10. There was a little blip here, but it recaptured it. It stayed above 69.10 for many months, moving the stock from 200 all the way to about 670. So just understanding that very simple principle. I'm going to leave you with one name right now, because a lot of people are wondering whether they should be long the name or not. I just want to show you what the chart looks like, and it is for Facebook, and this is Facebook's weekly chart. Take a look at this right there. So I'm going to let you decide what to do with it. As of right now, that's the chart. The RSI is still holding firmly above 69.10. Eric Moade, good luck, peace and blessings. Remember, we're just sharing knowledge here. I am out.